And welcome to another episode of Richmond Real Talk, where you can find real teens having real talk about real stuff. This is your host, DJ Silver, currently recording here live at the Richmond Highlands Teen Center. And tonight, I am joined with two teens that have been on here before, although it's been a long time. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves?
You
Want to go first or?
Don't be shy. You've been on here before.
My name is Roz.
And I'm Robbie. I'm just like that one guy who always just keeps coming back.
Yeah.
This time I have a good poem for it.
Read it. Do it.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna do a quote today, but let's do your poem for the quote of the day.
Okay, it's a little bit of a read, but here often I gaze o'er the seas when winter shows have gone to spring so fair. Winter snows have gone to spring so fair, alone except for butterflies and bees. Remembering the times we used to share, your spirit soars o'er places where I'd walk, not holding any friend on earth so true. Upon my shoulder, good old and faithful hawk, O Scarlaugh, there was never one like you. With heavy heart, I sit alone in grief, Lord of the mountain, ruling over all, wishing I could split a single leaf to bring you back again with our old call. So, if you wanted to hear context for that, it's from the Redwall book, Outcast of Redwall. It takes place with about like 3 different storylines at once. One of a badger lord named Sunflash the Mace, he escaped captivity from another main character with help from this hawk named Scarlaugh. So that's how his adventure, and he becomes the badger lord in the end. Scarlaugh died, obviously, and their old call, he would split a leaf and blow it to make a loud whistle, which Scarlaugh would be able to hear. But yeah.
I won't be able to remember any of those names.
Yeah,
I'm terrible in that. So this was a premeditated poem already that you borrowed from this.
Yeah.
I was wondering. For a second I thought you wrote it. I was like, wow, that's kind of deep. Who'd you write that about?
Nah.
But that's it. That's a really, really interesting poem.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
The Redwall series always has a pretty good amount of poems.
What is this again? What's this?
The book series is called Redwall. It's by Brian Jacques.
Redwall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those stories have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I used to read. I read a couple of those. They're long. There's a lot of books, and they're
It's
really,
about
really
22
long.
books.
Yeah, they're a lot.
I'm still reading
reads.
them right now.
Redwall, I think, is like a prequel, isn't it? To some, I can't remember. There's a huge mythology behind it.
Yeah, they're not released in chronological order.
And it's crazy because they're all like animals.
Yeah.
No.
But still, badger lords are freaking crazy.
Ross, how you doing?
I'm good. What?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was kind of jarring. How's school been?
I'm on break this week, so
You're on spring break this week?
yeah. But it's over.
Did Shore already have their spring break?
No, they
we're
haven't.
gonna be the last people of the state to have spring break.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It's stupid.
Yeah, I had my spring break already last week as well. I missed my spring break. My spring break was only a week, which is hard in college. Because you don't have time to decompress from the quarter that just happened, and then you got to start another quarter. It's really, really rough.
Do you get midwinter break?
No.
Yeah, neither do we.
There's no such thing as midwinter break.
Yeah.
Actually, in high school, I don't even think it's like a elementary school thing, a middle school.
Oh no,
thing.
we do it in high school.
Yeah, they do it in high
You
school.
do it in high school? My
We do
high
it.
school didn't do it.
We do it at Shorewood.
Man, my high school
Yeah, we literally have
sucked with days off. We
we have a
never
winter
got
break.
days off.
We have midwinter break, we have spring break, then it goes to summer, and all of which have 6-week intervals in between. So once spring break happens, you're basically in the home stretch.
Well, I got an announcement to make.
Cool.
This will be my last month working here.
What?
Yeah. Therefore, this will be my last month actually being able to work on the podcast. Now, I'm hoping that the podcast will continue, even though I'm gone.
I will literally take over the podcast if I have to.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been, Austin wants to keep it going. I want it to keep going, even though I'm not going to be here to host it anymore. I still want it to keep going because I feel like it's a platform that a lot of teens like, and that a lot of teens can kind of, I think it's important that y'all have a voice that can be heard and that people can listen to, whether they want to hear it or not. At least it's there for people to listen to and to tune in. And that's one of the things I really liked about this. And I also like the authenticity of it, how raw it is. So there's not like a huge political campaign behind it.
No, it's
there's not a lot of fabrication or things that are kind of theatrical. This is a very, very raw take of us, talking to teens and getting your voices heard on here. So, I was wondering for tonight if there's I was thinking the other day, it's the last year of the decade.
Oh yeah.
Of 2010, right? It's our last year, and then next year it's gonna be 2020. We start a whole new decade now. And both of you are juniors, right?
Yeah.
Juniors, so you're gonna be seniors next year.
Yeah, we're gonna.
And then going into 2020, you're gonna be graduating.
Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty
We're
crazy.
gonna start a new decade off.
Yeah, new decade with a whole new.
Getting out of school.
Mm-hmm. So how are y'all feeling? How's the year been going so far?
This year's been a rough one.
Has it been rough?
Mm-hmm. I've basically just had to crawl my way across and fight tooth and nail with some people to like actually be able to be successful academically. And this year's it started off really rocky, and it's just now like starting to get less rocky, and we're already coming to the end of it, which sucks.
Oh, you mean the school year? Oh, okay.
Yes, the year itself as well. It's had a good start, but stuff still pops up and everything.
How about you, Roz? What say you?
The beginning of last year for me was really rough. I was in like the hospital for 5 days.
Beginning of 2018?
19.
Oh, 2019?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
last year.
Sorry.
The beginning of 2018. I was in the hospital. Because I was really depressed and suicidal. So they had to send me to like... Oh, thank you. They had to send me to... I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a teen institution where there was a bunch of other kids that were there for like different reasons. But yeah, so that's how my 2018 started, and then it kind of got better. So
Just kind of?
yeah.
Just a little bit?
Yeah.
My sister went through the very, very similar thing. She was battling with a lot of her issues, and she actually had to go to those teen institutions. She was in and out for a little while. It took a while to get her back, but it's tough trying to get yourself out of that hole.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time, but it's very possible. She was able to do it. This year's been the school year has been hectic. I feel like it's been hectic for a lot of people. I've actually talked to a lot of people about how the year's been going for them, both the school year and the new year, and everyone kind of has the same kind of beat, where it's just been a lot. It's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
I've been doing pretty well, like academically. I'm actually ahead in credits, and I could graduate like halfway through next year if I wanted to.
Do you want to graduate that quick, or do you kind of want to?
I do, but at the same time, I'm gonna start doing like a college program through my high school. So and it lasts the entire year, so I'd have to continue doing that. But I might not have to take like actual classes at the high school and just do the program through the college. But I don't know yet.
So I got a question then. What would make things better? Like if you could, somebody came up to you and said, "Hey, I had this power, right? I could make life completely the way you want it to be. I'd make you happy." What does that look like?
Honestly, to answer that question, it'd take me a while to think of it. Because honestly, most of it's just lived in the moment. No. One way to make life better, make it so that my D&D sessions can run way better and also run more frequently. Because I'm slightly getting addicted to D&D as much as I'm getting addicted to Greek fries and root beer.
Do you have people that actually show up with you to play D&D?
Yeah, I have a friend.
You have a good group with you?
Yeah.
Because I feel D&D I feel like it's one of those games that can go on forever.
Oh yeah, no.
Like it's never ending.
We've had a session run from like 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. before. Like that was once, but
It's only 6 hours.
There's been people who's played
D&D.
D&D. Yeah, I've heard of stories where people play D&D for 14 hours.
14 hours straight.
6 p.m. to like 4 a.m.
I feel like you're just a zombie at the end of that game.
No, literally, like this guy who was telling the story, he's like, how do you have that much time to play D&D? I'm like, I don't know.
6 p.m. to 4 a.m.
I don't know.
isn't 14 hours.
You know what? I don't care.
Wait, is it? It's 10. Yeah, it's 10.
I don't know.
I think it's 10. Yeah, it's 10. I can't do math.
But no.
But neither can Robbie, so it's fine.
Okay, but no, like I'm saying though, is like, cause yeah, my group is new, but it's also like a point where like, some of the group members are kind of they're kind of playing the game a little bit wrong.
How many months left do you have in the school year?
We get out June.
We get out like June 20th.
Did they tack on extra school days because of the snow?
I don't think for me they didn't.
They did for you? Okay.
They
I'm pretty sure your school actually like planned ahead accordingly to actually snow some days. Because with the Shoreline School District at least, it's basically if you're having one snow day, you want to plan. You should have planned ahead to have at least a week of snow days. Because when it snows here, it snows here.
What are we gonna talk about today?
I don't know. We're just.
I want to talk about movies.
What do you? Oh,
Just,
movies.
Like movies in general.
Like what movies?
I like watching.
What'd you watch?
I watch a lot of horror movies because, like, I think that I don't know, cause like I've always like enjoyed cinema, and I took movie class, like not movie class, but like filmmaking classes in the summer of like 7th grade, and I learned a lot. And like I think movies have a lot of power, especially just because it's a media that pretty much everyone can access, and it's it's a good way to get messages out, and also a good movie's fantastic.
Well, I'm sure you already know, me and Creighton talk a lot about movies and sports. Those are the only two things we ever talk about is movies and sports.
Yeah.
Movies are incredible. What's crazy about movies is they're like recession proof. So like even if a country goes through an economic depression, right? Everybody still has enough money to at least go to a movie theater and watch a movie. Or down
like have you ever seen the movie Hugo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Long time ago though.
Yeah.
Like 10 years ago.
It's an old movie, but it's like the guy that was the man that like made a bunch of movies. It was like before the war, he was doing really well because everyone wanted to see them, because his movies were like fantastical and they were imagination and they were all kinds of things that like couldn't happen. And then after the war, no one was like seeing his movies because they had like seen the darker side of humanity, and they didn't they couldn't suspend their belief anymore, pretty much. And it was really sad because that's kind of like what ruined his career.
Yeah, movies are very, very, very powerful. They're very hard to make.
Yeah.
I love horror movies as well. I mean, I love mostly all genres of movies. I'll watch almost anything. Horror movies though there's a special place in my heart for horror movies because growing up, from my earliest memories of watching movies, I used to love scaring myself. I'd be like 5, 6, 7 years old watching movies I shouldn't have been watching.
I think the first horror movie that I watched that I like actually paid attention to was Alien. And I watched it and I showed it to my friend like the next day, and I knew the jump scare near the end that happens where she's in the spaceship and the alien like falls out from the wall and she like freaks out.
Yeah.
But I was with my friend and we were watching it downstairs, and she was holding like a glass of water, and I was watching her because I knew it was gonna happen. I knew she was gonna get scared, so I was watching her. When it happened, she like spilled the water all over herself, and I just started cackling.
Who is this?
It was Sarah. You don't know where she's from. She's like a really old friend of mine.
Alien's a pretty creepy movie.
It is pretty creepy.
What's cool about that movie is of course an alien horror movie, but it's actually a smart alien horror movie. Like the way it's cut and shot is really smart. I've seen some really messed up movies, really messed up horror movies.
I just like binge them. Like I go to the horror section on Netflix and I just watch as many as I can.
Foreign horror movies are really, really good.
They are. Have you seen Tag?
No.
It's a Japanese horror movie. I haven't seen all of it, but the beginning was really cool. I don't know the plot, because like basically there's like this in the beginning there's this girl and like she's on a bus, and then for some reason like the bus gets cut in half and everyone gets cut in half on the bus, and she had bent down to grab something, so she had been spared, and then she has to like run away, and then she gets to a school and everyone that was on the bus is alive, and she's like freaked out.
Yeah, no, the Japanese horror is really, really good.
Yeah.
French horror is really, really good. There's been some Korean horror movies that are really, really good. I don't want, huh?
I'm not versed in horror movies.
Roz, have this man watch some horror movies.
I will.
It's because it's gonna freak you out, dude. I can reference some really, really messed up horror movies, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to scar you or traumatize you guys.
I will not be traumatized. It's literally impossible to traumatize.
I've done my good amount of horror content, but not horror movies.
Yeah, horror. You know what's crazy is I just got done taking a course last quarter that's on horror, but it was on a specific horror called cosmic horror and
so
cosmicism.
Like horror of like we're alone in the universe.
Very similar, yeah. So the person who created this genre of horror, his name was H.P. Lovecraft, and he wrote in the 1920s
Lovecraft.
and 30s.
He was
Cthulhu and stuff.
Yeah. But his mythology is really interesting because cosmicism is that we're so small that really what we do does not matter. There's no purpose what we do. We're the only ones that give our lives meaning and purpose. Exactly. Very, very much of nihilism. But cosmicism is kind of taking that and putting it into a horror aspect. Yeah. So what's crazy is reading, because in college you have to, you read his stories, then you have to dissect them, and then you have to read in between the lines, and then you have to pull stuff and connect it to other stuff, and then have conversations. I mean, they take a whole academic approach to this work. But what was cool was seeing how the horror is portrayed, because the main character will be educated somehow, somewhere, and then they'll reach this horror entity, right? That's like a god, pretty much like an extraterrestrial god or something. And because this god is so powerful and it extends dimensions, right? And we're limited by
what we know.
They used to say we live in a third dimensional world. Very recently, they rejected that. We're now considered a fourth dimensional world, because they just said that time is a dimension, which it wasn't before. So we're actually fourth dimensional. But these beings are supposed to exceed fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth dimensional. So by the time, at the end or climax of the story or whatever happens, by the time like the main character gets to see the god or come into contact with it somehow, some way, it's so mind-boggling and unfathomable that they go mad and they go crazy, because they're seeing an entity that they can't comprehend in their mind on what they're seeing and what they're realizing. And when you go really deep into it, it screws with your mind.
Yeah.
It really screws with your mind. And then you get to see how other works of horror, especially in horror movies like Stephen King, a lot of his stuff, like it was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft and that whole type of stuff.
In D&D, actually, I'm pretty sure they also do use Lovecraft for...
Oh, I'm sure they use a lot of... As a matter of fact, D&D would probably be perfect for taking a lot of Lovecraft stuff.
I'm pretty sure the class of Warlock, you can actually get your magic...
Although, is D&D really that dark?
Can
it get dark? Because H.P. Lovecraft is pretty dark. There's some dark...
Because it doesn't have to... It depends on how you play.
Yeah, D&D is literally bound to the players and how they play it. So, as I was saying though about the Warlock, I'm pretty sure one of the ways the Warlock can get his magic, because they have to get a magic from another being. One of which is a Lovecraftian type of being, like Cthulhu, which is another worldly patron. So,
yeah, Cthulhu was an actual alien from a planet, from a race, at least in the context of the Lovecraft mythos. And then I think his father was like Azathoth, or one of the outer gods, which is like these huge celestial beings that have this crazy power. It's insane. But I loved it so much. I don't like H.P. Lovecraft or his writing, but I like his concepts and some of the stuff he created in terms of his monsters, because it's thinking about cosmic horror really and how that's implemented was really, really crazy to watch and crazy to experience, and seeing how that fits in. Roz, I got a movie for you to check out, as a matter of fact.
What is it?
I think you might like. Have you heard of The Witch? A movie called The Witch. It came out in 2016.
I think I have heard of it, but I've never watched it.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago. That's a really, really good horror movie. Really, really good horror movie. I was into witches for a little while. I don't know why, but I started going into witches and studying witches. Now I'm into studying the occult. I actually found an occult out here.
What?
Yep.
Seriously?
Yep.
Serious?
Breaking news live on Richmond Real Talk. I found an occult out here.
And it's not the Order of the Arrow?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think the best kind of horror movie is where everyone's doing everything right, and at the very end, like, it's out of their control. Like in Final Destination, like, literally the reason why everyone is dying is because they're, like, on death's list and they can't really get out of it unless they, like, sacrifice themselves or save someone else. And I think it's, like, the aspect of, like, they're doing everything right, but you can't escape it.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you can do about it, and you're just trapped.
Yeah.
I think that's what's horrifying. Like, that's my kind of horror.
Honestly, like, the last horror movie I've ever seen, I think, besides The Conjuring, which was a good one.
The Conjuring is really good.
I love The Conjuring.
Like,
that's
The
an amazing. That's
Have
an
you
amazing
seen
movie.
Hereditary?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have. It's very good.
I honestly didn't like it.
It was
Like,
weird in the way that
Yeah, it
it's
was-
kind of like
it's
you
hard-
you definitely have to read past the lines in order to be like, oh, that makes sense.
yeah, like I don't know. It was
Yeah, it's a really bizarre movie.
it.
I do like the way they filmed it though. There are some scenes that like I was
Yeah.
watching and I was like, that's a really good way.
So
to
here,
film it.
I'm actually curious. So Robbie, I want to hear specifically what you didn't like about it, and then Roz, I want to hear
sorry.
specifically what you do like about it.
Mainly what I didn't like about it is how like they leave you out. They leave you out of any like sort of context to what's going on. What's like
So they don't give you like a story or anything.
they don't
kind of
tell
gotta
you
figure
any
stuff
story.
out.
They literally
Yeah.
just start you off with like the grandmother just died.
Mm-hmm.
There's this girl who does this weird noise.
She did it with her finger. Does she?
No,
oh
no,
no, she just
no.
with it.
She does that.
with her tongue. You're right. I haven't seen
Yeah.
one forever.
Yeah, but and I'm just I don't even know what this like the whole time I wasn't really scared. I was confused through the whole movie. Even at the end, I'm just like, what? No. Like at the end of the
It's
movie,
definitely one of those movies you have to really sit and think and analyze.
You have to like
Yeah.
actually.
You have to like
like,
dissect it
watch it.
almost.
like, and I feel
There's
like
a lot
if
of
you-
symbolism in it.
Yeah.
Like, given I am a Catholic type of person, so I probably should kind of know this stuff. But like,
What, being Catholic?
well, kind of being Catholic because they talk about hell.
I feel like it's beneficial to know about.
I don't
It's
know.
based on
But as
Catholicism.
well, then again, I feel I take hell as like part of like
Well, hell is Christianity in general.
Yeah. Christian-
Well,
yeah, but
there's
if you're Catholic-
term hell, but then there's like the underworld for.
yeah, but then
like,
they
the
say
other
that
thing.
there's a fifth king of hell, so that means that there's multiple kings of hell,
So there's been 4.
or there's other kings like at the same time. But what I'm saying is though is hell is based in Christianity. Catholicism is kind of a bisect of Christianity because it's still partly Catholicism. Catholicism is Christianity, but also you add in that we actually like kind of look to the saints, where in Christianity you just look to Jesus. In Catholicism, we also look at the saints. We celebrate their feast days, and we actually like pray for them. They pray for us, and when you go through confirmation, you find a patron saint that you want to have. Mine was the patron saint of blacksmithing and something else, but yeah. But that's why I'm saying like I feel like I should know more about this because this.
So I'm gonna enlighten you on what they were in the
Yeah,
movie, like
please.
exactly what was going on
Yeah.
and everything. But Roz, I want to hear what you like about it.
I really like the cinematography. I really like if a movie's not shot well, then I will not like it. Like,
Cinematography is important for horror.
yes. It's
Imagery
also, like,
imagery is
Imagery's
super important for
and
horror.
the way that you shoot light and the way you shoot dark scenes definitely. Like if you're in the dark and you just can't see anything, it's like I have no idea what's happening.
Yeah.
But there were parts where they would like their transitions were really cool. Like they would have a scene of the house, and then it would have like a drum sound, and then at the drum sound it would turn dark so that you know like the whole day went by, and it was just I don't know, it just like it was really good. I liked it a
I
lot.
think I remember that part. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like there were a few parts in the movie where it was a little dark for me to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I did like kind of look at the movie and look at the scenes again and look at it again. I'm like, oh, that's a thing.
I was definitely confused for like the story,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
yeah I agree. But to be fair, I wasn't really paying 100% attention because I was like watching it while I was doing like work
Yeah.
or something.
So I like the movie because of the story. Now so just a little context first. I saw it, and then months later, Hereditary came out. I think it came out in the
It was, like,
fall.
7 months later, I think.
Yeah,
A few months later.
Hereditary came out in like the summer, spring, or something.
I saw it. I saw it in the summer. It was
Yeah.
in theaters.
I saw it. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I wasn't on the hype train as much as everybody else was.
It wasn't really scary.
As a matter of fact, I was kind of I was a little let down. I thought that like the actual actor playing it in the old the original was much scarier and creepier because he was weirdo. He's a weirdo. When this one, I felt like he wasn't really all that creepy. He just looked kind of creepy. So anyways, I saw it and I was a little let down because I thought it was going to be scary and everything, and I thought I was going to like it. I ended up not liking it that much. And then Hereditary came out and I ended up really liking Hereditary. So with that movie, with Hereditary, so there was a cult, right?
Yeah, it was a cult of the Fifth King of Hell.
Yeah, the cult. But it was the cult of the Fifth King, but really it was a cult of witches, which is why it all celebrated around women, especially the grandma, because she was the woman. They said that in the film that it was a cult that had been passed down through covens of witches, because essentially witches are a byproduct of hell, of the devil. A Black Sabbath is actually a communion with the devil in women who make a pact with him to become witches, right? So the whole thing was orchestrated around that. Now the thing is that in order to gain a lot of the riches and rewards and all this stuff, you had to be able to summon the Fifth King of Hell, which is really just the demon, right? So he's not Satan or another version of Satan. No, I forgot the actual name of him, but there's different demons that are kind of like saints of the devil, right? So he was another demon. A part of that was the ritual was the beheading. Yeah. That's a really, really big part of his ritual. And what they were trying to do was give birth and create a son to where they could pass that demon into them and to be able to summon them. And that was the whole goal.
I'm pretty sure.
It was and towards the end it definitely like it turns, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You're sitting like what is happening?
It was really slow build up and then like it was like 5 minutes of like
so the biggest reveal was the fact that the girl had the spirit of
the Fifth King
of the devil, exactly, but they couldn't be unleashed or couldn't have been brought out because she ended up she couldn't be unleashed or brought out. It had to be a male.
Yeah. So.
But the killing, the beheading of her, hitting the light post, all that was supposed to be orchestrated because it was all part of the ritual all along.
Well, yeah, because I'm pretty sure he looks back and he didn't see a deer after he swerved out of the way.
Well, if you remember when they hit the light post and she gets beheaded, you see a symbol in the light post. It's the same symbol that you see throughout the movie. There's it's hard to watch. You gotta pay attention, but you see the symbols at different scenes at different times when stuff happens to show that it was all orchestrated and planned. And that was kind of like the biggest reveal in the movie was the fact that the grandma's in this cult. The cult is to summon this being. This is how you do it. That's why you saw the head on a shrine at the end and everything.
Yeah,
it's a crazy movie. It's a crazy movie.
How the heck did they get that head from the middle of nowhere?
Well, they knew where it was at.
Well, I guess
because they had the light post with the symbol that they put in there.
So they knew that's where she was.
So it was all a part. It was all premeditated. It was all one big when the mom goes and talks to that woman who knew the grandma and all that.
Revealed that, she
you find out everything was all planned out and premeditated for this ritual to happen, and then you're kind of just along for the show, seeing the ritual play out. There's really no big payoff. The payoff at the end, I mean, obviously they just end up summoning the demon.
Yeah.
No one wins. There's not really a happy ending. Everybody pretty much
the whole family died.
Yeah. And the end was creepy though. I was a fan. I was a fan at the end how it played out because when the father caught on fire and then you see in the background that shadow figure standing smiling looking at them. And then towards the end it started getting really creepy. Yeah, and then the mom really freaking out.
Especially when you had the cultists.
It's a dark movie.
It's a dark movie.
It's a twisted movie.
Spooky.
But I like movies that I'm very intrigued about cults, either cults or occults. They've always
cults are really, really interesting, especially
they are, especially trying to study them.
The American Horror Story season of
No,
Cult?
I haven't
It's
seen it.
really
I
good.
think the last season I saw was a long time ago. It was like
Yeah.
the
I watched all.
carnival one.
Yeah, the.
That was the last one I saw. But cults are they're really really crazy, especially when you start really studying them
Yeah.
and like analyzing them. They get pretty messed up.
Yeah, like I like the ones that's like they believe the end of the world is coming on a certain date,
Okay.
and then like the date comes and the end of the world doesn't come, obviously, and they're all like, oh well, we must have prevented it because we knew it was coming and we prayed for it, and then they're like, well then it must be coming at this other date, and they just like keep postponing it, and like they can't get out of that mindset. Like that's so interesting that people can fall not victim to it, but just like fall into that, just
Yeah.
and repeatedly think that
So,
someone is the calling or
What's
whatever.
crazy is so there's cults and then there's the occult. Cults are pretty much just sect of religion of man-made religion.
Yeah.
With one
With
leader.
no, they could say that there's a deity, but really there's, they made up the deity. On the second hand, there's the occult, and the occult is same thing but more secretive.
Yeah.
Pretty much, it's like they have this hidden.
It's kind of like the Illuminati.
Yes, yeah. They have this hidden information, this
Yeah.
hidden knowledge, this hidden secrecy
And
that
it's
they
become
don't
Like Area
want people
51.
to know, right? They select people to integrate into this occult and to share this hidden knowledge or this hidden secret, but it's not meant for everybody to know of, which is the exact opposite of religion, because in religion you have this message that you want everyone to know and you want to accumulate everybody, you want everybody to
Like the spaghetti monster.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Here, I can look it up because it's an actual religion.
A spaghetti monster religion?
Yeah, my friend, for his first D&D character, Felonius, literally follows that religion. It's here.
That sounds more like a cult. Speaking of cults.
Spaghetti monster prayer religion. Here it is.
Prayer.
Yeah, Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Oh,
It was like summoning
Pastafarianism is a real legitimate religion as much as any other in New Zealand. Pastafarianism.
New Zealand.
Pastafarian representatives are authorized to officiate weddings. However, in the United States, the federal judges ruled the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster is not a real religion. And this is Wikipedia, so take it with a grain of salt. But
if I ever meet somebody who's in a religion where they pray to a deity that's a spaghetti monster, that is probably the freakiest thing I'd ever come across. You know how far out you gotta be to pray to that.
Okay,
but
so
you gotta be really out there.
So looking down, the Flying Spaghetti Monster. So I think Wikipedia thinks it's a cult because major cult center is venganaza.org. Let's go to that. Let's hopefully not get a virus on my phone.
Yeah, don't get a virus on your phone.
Oh wow.
What did we find?
It's an actual official website.
It's beautiful.
Of the spaghetti monster?
Yes.
Oh.
It's images.
Oh.
What
Okay.
it's supposed to look like. I'm so sorry you can't see it.
I'd show you, but I feel like you don't want to see it. Want to become a Pastafarian minister? Official ordination certificate is $25.
Oh my god, for $25.
I'm
I
not
could
giving
join
them
the cult.
$25. It's a lot of money.
That's
$25?
to
But you
become.
get
It's a
to
quarter
be
tank of
able
gas.
To worship the spaghetti man.
Oh my gosh. I don't even. But no, so that's an actual.
It's just that easy, huh? Just starting a religion like that, huh?
Well, like I'm pretty sure it was pretty hard to do it because you need to actually get a following and then hopefully get it big
Does
enough.
that
So
mean they can make up holidays and be like,
I feel like it's just a bunch of trolls.
I get every Tuesday off. Like the work can't stop them because of religious freedom.
Well, I guess I don't know.
It actually would be really hard to start a cult. Or
It
a
would
cult.
be really. It's really.
It
hard to
depends
start.
on how big it is. Like I think it depends on where you are too. Because if you're in a small town, it's easier.
Oh yeah, no.
Or just a group where not as much.
Really, I feel like a small town would be much harder.
Well, it has to be not as much media, not as much but education, not as much
like one of
just
those
an
Midwest
outside
towns.
influence. Just because it's knowledge that keeps people from
Mm-hmm.
falling under
You want to be in one of
Like-
those like Midwest towns.
You have to be very, very witty, and you also have
probably
to.
want to like be able to become the mayor.
I mean, every
Well, you have to be
single-
charismatic as well.
yeah,
Every
you-
single
You have to
cult
people
leader has been
you have to be very
very,
enigmatic,
very
right?
charismatic
Like there's
and
something
very,
about
very
you that
sneaky.
people keep drawing to you,
like,
right?
Who's the guy?
Why is it that the past 2 times I've been on the podcast, it just got really dark?
Oh, that's because that's what we do here. We talk about dark stuff,
Also, it's
like
9
horror
degrees
movies and the
of
occult
fire.
and the fifth king of hell and all that stuff.
And then
What else
just
would
heart
we
surgery
do?
and like how to cope with that. Or did I? No, I didn't even talk about that. I just told that whole entire story, and it was really kind of sad.
It's okay. I think we kept it pretty
I've
appropriate.
heard darker, so yeah.
I think we're chill today.
And that will do it for tonight's episode of Richmond Real Talk. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And why don't you go ahead and tell the kids where they can find you?
You go first.
Okay. Snapchat is at Waffles Cowpig, same as the Instagram. I'm not gonna plug my YouTube because I don't post on it, and I don't use Twitter enough to do it. So yeah, just Waffles Cowpig, all one word.
How about you guys?
My Instagram is doublecat666 and my Snapchat is the same, but it's got 4 6s. Don't laugh at me.
4.
Yeah, because I
Better
had
than
3
3.
6s and then I forgot the password, so I just created a new one. Ow.
And this is your host, DJ Silver. You can find me for the next 3 weeks here at the Richmond Highlands Teen Center before I officially leave this job.
Where are you going after this?